Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Okay, then we'll start. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to see the protocol architecture of GSM. Okay, in the last lecture, we saw the UM interface, that is radio interface of the GSM. So now, in today's lecture, we will see the protocol architecture or protocol layer that are involved in the GSM system. Okay, so in semester 5 you have studied the OSI layer architecture, which is followed or which was there in the computer networks. Based on that, this particular GSM protocol layer architecture is also defined. Okay, so this architecture, or we can say this protocol layers, are followed for signaling between different entities of the GSM system. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, four entities primarily shown. As you can see, four entities are shown here. One is the mobile station, then base transceiver station, then BSC, that is base station controller, and the mobile switching center. Okay, so as you can see, there are different layers involved at the different entity. Here you can see in the diagram, you can clearly able to see. So like mobile station implements five different layers. Okay, actually that are three layers. Okay, we will see that later on. So whereas base station implements only three layers, here you can see. Base station controller also implements three layers. Okay, whereas mobile switching center again implement five layers. Okay, so communication between all these entities happen by following functions of all those layers. Okay, so as we know, in the OSI layer, the bottom most layer is the physical layer. Okay, so thing same thing applies to the GSM protocol architecture. The bottommost layer is the physical layer. Okay, so this particular bottommost layer here, where I am drawing the, just a minute. No one is there. Okay, that bottommost layer is the physical layer. So you can see for mobile station, then base station. Okay, that physical layer involves radio layer. Here you can see for this particular part, the radio layer is available because their communication is wireless. Okay, that is happening through which interface? That is happening through interface. Okay, then communication between BTS and PSC, that is happening, or that is through wired network. Okay, so physical layer here involves PCM. Okay, that is pulse code modulation, and same technique is involved for communication between base station controller and the MSC. Okay, so this particular diagram represents how different protocols are involved, or how different protocol layers are used for communication between different entities. Okay, now the second layer in the OSI is data link layer. Okay, now the same layer is adapted for GSM also. So here this is from the second, this is the data link layer. Here you can see for GSM it uses specific protocol called link access procedure for D channel. So this LAPDM is the data link layer protocol here. Okay, so we will see the details of it in the further part of lecture. So this LAPD protocol is used in the second layer, that is for data link layer purposes, and the third layer. Now this particular complete is the third layer, okay, which is divided into 3 sub layer at the most, and that is your media access layer, we can say. So out of these 7 layers, only basically 2 layers are defined as in the GSM protocol architecture. The remaining 5 layers are the responsibility of the service provider. Okay, so media access layer has 3 sub layers. Okay, at mobile station here, because this particular 3 things are only available at mobile station. Okay, and CMMM is also available at MSC. CM and MM. Okay, so rest these two particular layers, these two particular entities, BTS and BSC, are not having those layers. Okay, so the mobile station, you can see it has one sub layer at the base station and base station controller, that is here. You can see what is that, we will see later on. So that is what the architecture. Okay, so let's first see what are the full forms of all those things. Okay, or the abbreviation, we can say abbreviation, which are shown over here. So first is, that is radio. We know what is radio is. Okay, that is radio layer. Okay, so as I discussed, this is the PCM, that is pulse code modulation. Okay, then this is LAPD. Okay, that is LAPD protocol, that is link access procedure for D channel. Okay, then RR and RR dash. Okay, so basically RR stands for radio resource management. RR stands for radio resource management. Then MM stands for mobility management. CM stand for call management. Okay, RR dash is a small part of RR only. Okay, that's why it is denoted by RR dash. Then BTSM, okay, is a BTS management layer. Okay, then again we have RR dash and BTSM. Okay, then BSS AP. Okay, that is stand for BSS, that is a base station subsystem application part. Base station subsystem application part. Okay, then SS7, we know signal system 7. Okay, okay, so functions of all these layers we will see in this lecture. Okay, then again we have the mobility management here and call management here. Okay, SS7 we already know. So it is the standard protocol. SS7 is used for the communication between MSC and BSC. So you will see SS7 is only available here. Okay. Okay, so as you know, or you can observe that communications at different entities happen at different data rates. Here you can see, like BTS and BSC communication. BTS and BSC communication, you will see it is having data rate of 16 to 64 kbps, whereas BSC to MSC, if you see, that is communicating via 64 kbps to 2.048 mbps. Okay, the reason is behind is that that different use of media at physical layer at different entities. Means, for example, if I can say at mobile station, we know that physical layer involves wireless communication, right? The wireless communication is there. Okay, so data rate is quite low, whereas MSC and BSC, if you see, the wired connection is there. So it has the high data rate transfer, or high data transfer rate cables for communication are available between MSC and BSC. So it supports higher data rate. Okay, so we'll see the functions of each layer one by one. That is what the introduction of this particular diagram, what we have seen. So now we will see the functions of each layer. Okay, now the first layer in the OSI as well as in the GSM protocol layer architecture is a physical layer. Okay, so as we know, the primary function of the physical layer is to handle actual data transmission over the physical medium. Okay. Now in this case, there is no physical medium. So we have the wireless medium. Okay. So this physical layer handles all radio specific functions, that is wireless specific functions, we can say, which includes the creation of burst, So these are the functions of mobile station. So all these functions are basically of mobile station. So mobile station is doing all those things. Okay. So we have seen what is the burst in the last lecture. Okay. Then we know that one burst is present in one frame or in one particular frame. So there are multiple such frames are transmitted in the wireless media. So multiplexing of the different burst into a TDMA frame is also a job of this particular physical layer. Okay. Then since we are using TDMA with FDMA, okay, for GSM, we know we are mixing it. So synchronization is necessary in the case of TDMA, barabar, and that synchronization with BTS is also possible because of the physical layer. Okay. Then we know that which channels are free for communication, then what is the signal strength of those channel on the downlink. So that means from BTS to mobile station. Okay. That is also detected by the physical layer. Okay. That is ideal channels. Yesterday we have all seen all those things. Okay. So it is nothing but having an antenna which is smart enough to detect the ideal channels and measuring the strength of that particular channel. Then while actually transmitting the data is not transmitted in a raw stream. We know that is encoded before transmission. So channel coding, okay, error detection or error correction is also the function of this physical layer. Okay. So now this particular functions are applicable only for mobile station, that I've already told, right? Okay. So what about physical layer at the other entities like mobile switching center or base transceiver station or BSC, that we will see. So that is BSC is base station controller. So all these entities communicate via physical media. So so we have a fixed dedicated path. So less amount of specification is mentioned in the physical layer. Like data transmission at physical layer typically uses pulse code modulation, that is PCM, which offers 64 kbps channel at the minimum. Okay. That we have just seen. Okay. So PCM is the modulation technique which is used for physical media transmission at BTS, BSC and MSC. Okay. Then GSM also allows to sub multiplex the channels into smaller channels of 16 kbps data rate. So if you divide a channel of 64 kbps into 4 channels, then you can combine them later on. Okay. Why to divide into 4 channels? So that 4 users can be supported easily, because 16 kbps is enough data rate for user data from the mobile station. Okay. So if we have the 64 kbps channel, we are wasting our bandwidth of a channel. So because we only require 16 kbps for single user, so we can divide this 64 kbps channel into 4 sub channels, so that 4 users can be accommodated over there. Okay. So physical layer at the A interface, here you can see physical layer at the A interface. Here you can see A interface is provided here. Typically includes lease line with 2.048 Mbps capacity. Okay, we have seen the A interface. So A interface is between BSC and MSC. Okay. So for this, lease lines are used. We know different forms of physical media, that is lease lines, then coaxial cable, twisted pair cables, and other are also there. Okay. So different lines are having different data rates. For higher data rates between base station and the mobile switching center, lease lines are used, and it supports data rate up to 2.048 Mbps. Okay. So this can be simple twisted pair cable or coaxial cable also, and this remaining part is the wireless part. Okay. So this is all about the first layer. So that is the bottommost layer. So now let's move to the data link layer, that is a layer number 2. Okay, so layer number 2 is the data link layer in the OSI model, we know. So in the GSM model, the layer number 2 has a special protocol which is called as a LAPD subscript M. Here you can see LAPD subscript M. Okay, so that is a link access procedure for D channel. Okay, now what is the D channel, that we will see later on. But LAPDM is a version of LAPD protocol. Okay, that is defined for digitally wired telephony. Okay, this is interface, and it is a digitally wireless telephony, that is ISDN system, and it is adapted for mobility. That's why the subscript is M attached to LAPD here. Okay, so LAPD has been derived from the link access protocol for D channel in the ISDN system, that you understand. So it is a version of HDLC, that is high level data link control. So it is also data link layer protocol LAPD, and LAPD M is adapted version for mobility. Okay, so LAPD-M is a lightweight. LAPD-M is the lightweight because it does not need synchronization flags. It does not need synchronization flags or checksumming for error detection. Now, synchronization, if you remember, the synchronization and the error detection, as we have seen, is done already at the physical layer. So additional task is avoided for data link layer here in the GSM protocol architecture. Okay, so what are the basic functions of this data link layer? So that are also done by LAPD-M protocol. So like sequencing of the data frames, then flow control, sequencing or resequencing of the data frame, then flow control. Okay, at what rate receiver is capable of receiving the data. Okay, then based on that particular transmission flow is controlled in the by this LAPD-M, or and flow control is managed by the LAPD-M. Okay, also it does the segmentation of the data and reassembly of the data. Okay, depending on transmission and reception. Okay, while transmitting it segments the data, and while receiving it reassembles the received data. Okay, so LAPD-M is responsible for that. Also it also responsible for acknowledge and unacknowledgement of data transfer. Okay, depending on the type of the network layer protocol which is used, acknowledgement is sent or not sent by the LAPD-M. Okay, so this is about second layer. Now what is D channel? So that we will discuss during the channel followed in the GSM. Actually, I'll check whether this is a part of your syllabus or not. That channels is, but still we will see what is the meaning of D channel and what is the meaning of different types of channels in the GSM system later on. Okay, so let's move on to the third layer now. Okay, so layer number 3, we are done with the first and the second layer. Now third layer, which involves several sub layers. So we'll see them one by one. Okay, we'll see. So at layer 3, as I said, it comprises of several sub layers. Okay, the lowest sub layer is radio recess management. Here you can see, I'll change the color of pen. Okay, the lowest sub layer is radio resource management layer. Okay, but this particular radio resource management layer is required only at the mobile station and base transceiver station. So RR is implemented only at the MS and BTS. If you remember the diagram, I'll show you the diagram. See here, RR is present here. Okay, so here RR dash is present, here also RR dash is present. Okay, so out of it, BTS implements only part of the RR that we have seen. RR means not entire RR is implemented at BTS. Only smart part or a small part of it is implemented, because BTS communicates with two entities. One is the mobile station. So how the communication is happening? Just see, mobile station. Okay, that is here. The communication is radio communication, that is wireless. Another is base station controller, which is the wired one. Okay, or which is the wired interface. Okay, so entire connection of the BTS is not wireless. So some part of is a wireless and some part of it is wired one. Okay, so that's why only part of the RR is implemented in the BTS and the remaining part is implemented for wired connection, which is not RR. Okay, so the function of RR dash are supported by BSC via BTS management layer. Okay, because towards the BSC connection will be the wired one. We know that. So whatever functions RR dash is implementing, those are adapted for wire connection via BTS management layer. Okay. So again, I'll show you. So here see, so the functions of RR are handled by BTS management layer. Okay. And further that are used by SS7 and BSSAP. Okay. The main task of RR, that is what is the radio resource management actually will see. So radio resource management means setting up the connection. That means acquiring the channel. Okay. That means before that, first of all, detecting the channel, that is done by the physical layer. Then whatever channel is detected, acquiring that and setting up that for making the call or receiving the call, then maintaining that call. So that is maintenance of channel. And when the call is ended, release of that radio channel. So setup maintenance radio is done by RR. Okay, so detecting of channel is done by lower layer. Okay, once lower layer detects the available channel, then call setup, maintenance, and release. So all this process will be done by RR. Okay, so RR also directly accesses physical layer for radio information. So which channel is detected for making the communication possible. So this information is taken from physical layer directly by RR. Okay, and it offers a reliable connection to the higher layer. So once the connection is set up, higher layers will be getting involved, because since the connection is wireless and it can be users can be mobile, so also higher levels will be responsible for this maintenance and release of the radio channels. Okay, so we'll see what is the higher layer at the mobile station. So that is the mobility management. We have already seen this in a sorry, that protocol architecture diagram. Okay, so what is mobility management? Okay, so while ongoing call, suppose users may roam around in the at the different places, whether those places will be at shorter distance or it may be at the longer distance, because we know that user may be traveling by car or by train or by any vehicle, or maybe it is moving. So while user are moving, maintaining this call is a difficult task, and that is managed by the mobility management layer. Okay, so what does mobility management does, or does? So it does the functions of registering the mobile user so that it can be available for making call or receiving call in authentication of that particular user or identifying a particular user if it is receiving the call. So also it should be able to know who is calling to the intended user. So caller ID is also supported by the mobility management layer, and location updating is also supported by mobility management. So while user is roaming around, its location is continuously gets updated, we know. So if the user stays within the same base station, then there is no much problem arises, because we know. But if user moves out of a particular base station, then call should not be disconnected, because it might be possible while changing the base station, it has to change its channel. So call should not be disconnected, and that's why location updated or our location updating is so important. Okay, and then if user moves out of the current base station, then different numbers have to be assigned, like means when the user is moving from one cell to another cell. Okay, in VLR we know what different numbers are assigned. So like TMSI, that is the provision of TMSI is done by mobility management. So TMSI, that is a temporary mobile subscriber identity number. Okay, that is valid only in the current location area of the VLR. Okay, so in whichever current cell or the base station you are in, while making that call within that cell or base station only, that TMSI remains valid. Okay, so mobility management layer offers a reliable connection, that means maintains the connection. Reliability is part of the maintenance. So the next higher layers. Okay, so once mobility management layer is successful, higher layers can perform their functions easily. Okay, so let's see the next layer, because RR, that is RR, radio resource management, we have seen. Also the mobility management also we have seen. So now the higher most sub layer of the third layer is called a call management layer. In this diagram you can see we have seen RR. Now initially we have seen physical layer, then data link layer. In this particular layer we have seen RR, we have seen Now we are looking for this particular control management layer. Okay, okay, so it is known as call management layer. Okay, so what is the call management layer? So it basically consists of three entities, that is call control, short message service, and supplementary services, that is CC, SMS, and SS. Okay, so connection may be set up for voice call, it may be set up for sending SMS, or it may be set up for sending a request to the network. Okay, like activation of certain services or activation of subscription for certain services. Okay, so these type of three activities can be done by mobile station. Okay, so you required three different connections. Okay, so that's why three different entities are there, that is call control, then SMS, and the SS, that is supplementary services. Okay, SMS, as we know, allows for messages to transfer using the different channels. So those are called control channels, like SDCCH and SACCH. Okay, SDCCH and SACCH are a type of control channels that are standalone. The first one is, that is SDCCH, that is standalone dedicated control channel, and SACCH, that is standalone associated control channel. Okay, these channels are used for control purpose. So basically channels are of two types. Okay, let me summarize this channel part in a short. Okay, so channels, that is frequency channels, are basically divided into two types. Okay, radio channels, we can say, are divided into two types. One is the physical channel, and the other one is logical channel. Okay. The physical channel means actual frequency on which you are transmitting the data, and logical channel means what type of data you are transmitting on that physical channel. Okay, so logical channel defines what is the use of this particular physical channel. Okay, so this use is nothing but logical channel. Okay, so physical channels are nothing but the medium, and logical channel is what data you are transferring. So suppose, for example, if user data is transmitted or user traffic is transmitted on a physical channel, then such physical channel will be called as a traffic channel, that is TCH. Okay, so TCH is a logical channel. So TCH means physical channel that is used for user traffic. Okay, then if control information is transmitted on a physical channel, or on particular channel, then the control channel is the type of that physical channel, sorry, type of that logical channel, that means CCH. Okay, so control information like making a call, then sending a alert, okay, or requesting for subscription service, okay, whatever it is. So like that, there are several logical channels, and several logical channels are there. Okay, so right now it is out of our scope, so we'll not discuss in detail. So then SMS here. SMS allows for information. SMS allows for a message transfer using the control channel. Okay, so voice is not, or user traffic is not intended for this one. So it is, or it can be sent via a control channel. Okay, then call control provides a point-to-point communication between two terminals, that is between two users, and that is used by the higher level for call establishment, or call clearing, and change of call parameter. So higher layers means here user interface will activate or initiate the procedure for doing the call establishment or ending of a call. Okay, or holding a call or changing the call parameters. Okay, and those initiated procedures will be forwarded to call control layer, which will be acted upon by this particular layer, that is call management layer. Okay, so it is the layer wise procedure for doing all these things, and that's where the CC stands for, and CC is available on the top of it. So in short, we can say CC manages the communication between user interface and lower layers like data link and the physical layer or remaining layers. Okay, so establishment, then maintenance, and release. Okay, is done by CC. Okay, so this can be done via several layers initiated by the GSM. Okay, so suppose in the case of dropping of a call, network may also drop a call, so that is initiated by the network calls. So CC is mediator between the user and the lower layers. Okay, so this call control layer or call management layer provides the functions to send band tunes also. Okay, like DTMF, it also supporting the DTMF tunes. Okay, so basically DTMF tones are small, what we can say, that are the regularly interval beeps, we can say, sent by the user in order to acquire the initiate certain processes. Okay, so this functionality is no longer in usage in modern era. So that's what the DTMF tones are. So DTMF tones are provided by the call management layer. So this is about the CM, that is call management. CCSMS and supplementary services are included in it. And last, our last layer, that is next layer, is the SS7 layer. Okay, that is signaling system 7. So we have seen about this previously also. Signaling system number 7 is responsible for signaling between MSC and different entities of the MSC like HLR, VLR, AUC, EIR, OMC, and so on. So it controls several base station subsystem via BSS application part. Okay. So what is meaning of this? That is BSS via BSS application part. What is the meaning of this? We'll see that. Okay. So just see here, as you know, so these are the three part of BSS, if you remember. So this is nothing but the BSS, which is having BSC, PTS, and MS. That is managed by MSC. BSS is managed by MSC. So whatever functions required for the management of all these entity, all three entities, that is MS, BTS, BSC. Okay, the information required for controlling these three entities is conveyed via BSS application part. It is conveyed via BSS application part. Okay, so BSS AP is responsible for control related information exchanges between MSC and BSS. Now take this as a BSS. Okay, entities. Okay, so primarily it goes through the BSC initially. From here BSSFE, it will goes to the BSC. That's why it is a communication with the BSC only. Okay, so that is the BSS application. Okay, so that is the job of basically SS7. So SS7 is supporting this. Okay, so that's why you will see that SS7 is a part of second layer. Now you just see this is the first layer. You can say here second layer is ended up. So SS7 is a part of second layer as well as third layer also. Okay. So you can see here SS7 is a part of second layer and third layer. So SS7 along with the BSS AP sends the information to BSC. Okay, and SS7 sends the information to BSC for only through this A interface. Okay, so SS7 works in two layers, that is layer 2 and layer 3. Okay, that is data link layer and the media access layer. Okay, so this is all about the protocol architecture. Okay, we have seen three different layers. Initially we have seen GSM protocol layer for, or the diagram for GSM protocol layers. Then we have seen layer 1, then we have seen layer 2. In layer 1 we have seen the physical layer and its capabilities. In layer 2 we have seen LAPD and LAPD-M, we can say. Then in layer 3 we have seen radio resource management, then mobility management and call management and signal